Okay, hello again. This is the 5 Minute Tarot for the 23rd of January 2018. And today it's a bit of a follow-up to the last one where I talked about rules or no rules. And I was thinking about that Three of Swords that I mentioned before, if you got it in the past. And so let me just start talking. When I first started reading cards or introduced to the tarot, I used to think that I ought to know things about people. So I could turn, let's say, the Three of Swords, and I would know that you had an argument, you, the questioner, had an argument with somebody called Bob, and it was about where they were going to go and have dinner one night. And this was upsetting for the questioner. And I used to think that tarot readers ought to know names and dates and places and circumstances and be able to tell the questioner actually what they already know. But it's quite impressive if you can say, yes, on the 23rd of October last year, you and Bob had this fight about which restaurant you were going to go to. And the questioner would think, wow, that's incredible. How did you know that? So that's kind of, well, that's what I thought in the beginning, that I ought to be able to do that. But then, if I can tell the question about Bob and the argument, so what? Then what? What good does it know? Or what good does it do the questioner to know that they had an argument with Bob, or to be told they had an argument with Bob? It may be quite impressive and make the questioner think good things about the ability of the reader. But really it doesn't, I don't think it does the questioner that much good to understand, let's say, the answer to the question, or why they're in life, or what to do, or how to go about things. So I don't think it's that educational or instructive for the questioner to know stuff like that. And I think a reading is supposed to help the questioner be wiser and smarter and make better decisions and be better informed about what's going on with their life. I think that's, at this point, I think that's what a tarot reading is for, or how it can be useful, or why we ought to do, why we can do, or why we should do readings for other people to help them out. Because often a lot of people turn to the tarot because they want answers, but they're not getting them from elsewhere. You can talk to teachers, parents, friends, family, neighbours to know what to do about a situation, and often you don't get much back. You don't really get that much help on what to actually do that will improve things or make things better or give you a better outcome, a better result. So let's say we're doing a past, present, and future spread, and the first card we get for the past is the Three of Swords. And I gave the example last time. So the reader looks at that and thinks, yes, you wanted revenge. So that may or may not be true, but it's kind of, okay, I'm thinking, if the Three of Swords is in the past, it can mean that you, the questioner in the past, had their heart broken, or were upset, or lacked courage. But it can also mean that you, the questioner, did that to other people. You were cruel to them, you were hurtful, you said hurtful things, or you did things that caused problems for other people. Because the heartache shown in the card can refer to you, the questioner, but it can also refer to other people. And at the same time, that Three of Swords can say that, or can indicate that the questioner spent time in a circumstance where people felt defeated. Their heart, which can represent courage, had been pierced. So maybe they worked in a job and they got in the news that the factory was going to close, or the office was going to close, or the business was shutting down, and everybody's walking around defeated. Think, okay, how am I going to get out of this? This is never going to work. I'm going to have trouble finding a job. So they're all sort of, there can be an atmosphere where people are not in good shape, or, you know what I mean? They're expecting the worst, or they've been broken, their heart's been broken, and they don't see any recovery from it. And that can be a negative, difficult atmosphere that the person was involved in the past. And I think the reason for looking at the past is so you can look at the present and understand what's going on with the present. So you turn that Three of Swords, let's say, in the past, and you talk about it. It could be you, it could be other people, it could be what you did to other people, it could be an atmosphere. And that's where you're coming from. But now we're going to look at the present. So let's say the present card is the Ten of Swords. So 10 is 1 plus nothing, gets you back to 1 again. So you can say to the person, okay, you've been through this rough patch or this difficult situation. It's going to continue for a little bit because you've got the 10 in the present position, but it's coming to an end because 10 is 1 plus nothing, gets you back to 1 again. So if you're defeated for a while, don't worry about it. It's just working itself out, and it's going to come to the end of its own cycle, its own life cycle. But there's going to be a new beginning. So what you do is you think about what it is that you want to do, where you want to go, what you want to experience, what you don't want to experience. So look at what happened in the past and figure out how you could handle the situation differently so that you can handle it better. Or decide that you're not going to spend time with those types of people. So if people are negative and down all the time, just don't have anything to do with them. So you, because you're represented by the 10, look to the past, what happened, decide what you want to repeat and what you don't want to repeat. So that's the reason for looking at Three of Swords and looking at the past, so you can make better sense of the present. So if you've got the Three of Swords in the past and the present is represented by the Sun, or a card of optimism like the Six of Batons or Judgment or something like that, some good card, maybe the Ten of Pentacles. You know, there's all sorts of cards that it could be. So you're then able to tell the person, this was happening in the past, you were lacking courage, let's say. Now you can have confidence. So and the thing is, if you've been in a difficult period and you begin to get ideas that, okay, it's going to get better, you can immediately say to yourself, no, I'm just fooling myself. You know, so we can talk ourselves out of improvement because we're still stuck in the past. So if you're with the Three of Swords and you have a good idea, you kind of automatically think, well, that's just wishful thinking, or it's never going to happen. So you close doors. There's a line, I mentioned this before, but I like it, in Cat Stevens' Sitting. And he says, life is like a maze of doors, and they all open from the side you're on. And that could be something you would tell the questioner, so that when you've had the bad experience, but now you're represented by the Sun. Things are brightening, things are going to be looking up. You'll find that opportunities will come to you. So take them. Don't shut the door on them, or don't assume that it's too good to be true, or it's not going to work, or that the past is going to repeat itself. You've been through the bad period. Now is a new beginning. And so be optimistic, be confident. If you have ideas of things you would like to do, begin to do them, or begin to put them in place so that you can move on and move away from the Three of Swords reverse, the lack of confidence and courage, and move into a new phase of your life. Or maybe you get the Judgment card, which is the people emerging from the coffin. So you say, okay, you've had the bad experience. Now is the time to be inspired. So think about what inspires you, what gets you motivated, what gets you excited, and begin to do that. Or put things in place so that you can do that. So think about your secret wishes or the secret plans that you always wanted to do, and begin to make them come true. So maybe you always thought that, I'm in this job, but I'd really like to do computers. So what you do is you take a computer course somewhere and find out and become good at it. Because if you always wanted to do computers, you're going to find that there was a reason you wanted to do it, is because you're going to be good at it. And if you try it and pursue it and work with it and work towards ability with computers, you'll find that it goes well for you. Somebody else may be told, you should do computers, and okay, I'll do computers. And their heart really isn't in it. But that goes back to that Three of Swords. Maybe that's why I'm saying the heart isn't in it. But if you're enthusiastic, it's going to pay dividends. Okay, that was from Revenge and the Three of Swords and psychics and what they tell you. So I'm thinking, you look at the card for the past and you talk about what's going on with it, and you don't limit yourself to one meaning, because often a card we have different experiences, but we usually have more than one of them. So you talk about the card in the past, about what's going on with it, what's going on in the picture, what it might mean for the questioner, for other people, for a life condition or a life situation. And then you look at the present, and then you look at the future to see to what extent the present is going to develop well. And so the card for the future can give you ideas about what's going to get in the way of improvement in the present, and what to avoid and what to not do. That was it. Thanks for watching. If you have comments or questions, leave them down below, and I'll be back in a couple of days, I think. So thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Thumbs up. That's good for the channel, and YouTube likes it. Okay, so thanks very much. I'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.